Hello, everybody. I am so sorry about that. But today, very briefly, like as promised, I said that I was going to go live every single day here on YouTube like I do on Facebook. So technically, I did fulfill my promise because it's 12 midnight. Yes, I am still up. I should be in the bed. However, I had some things that I had to get done and get finished with, and this was one of them to prep for today. I meant to do this Sunday, but anyway, that's a long story. So, if you see the description in the video, I am talking about how you can actually put a spin on traditional subjects. So, like I told you in another video, how we trying to find our groove, so to speak. So I saw where the traditional way was getting a little humdrum, getting a little drawn out. Now, I'm not saying I'm dumping all books because I'm still going to use my books. However, I feel that there's a need for the next week or so to do something different and along with what I already was doing. So, right now I'm going to show you how very easy it is for you to actually take untraditional resources and make them your core subjects for that week, for that month, or however you want to do it. And I'm going to share with you how I'm actually going to do it, because keep in mind I do have a high schooler, a freshman, and I also have a middle schooler, 7th grade, that has learning differences. So with that in mind, this is what I came up for both children, because I do combine them on several different things. The only thing that they are not combined on mostly would be math and reading and spelling. But for the most part, oh, and language arts. But like science and history and some math, it just depends on what we're doing. Like geometry, they're both like neck and neck when it comes to that. And they're both above their grade level when it comes to that. So, history, geography, science, I always try to combine it. It makes it easier for me, and it just makes for a more funner experience in our household for a subject that they really don't hardly care too much for. Now, they love science, but when we start talking about history and stuff like that, I have to get very creative. Due to some things that was happening at Lakeshore Academy, because that still is the name of our homeschool, um, I said, we just need a change in scenery, a change of what we've been doing. And so we're still gonna do the traditional things that we were doing before, but we're just gonna hold on some of them right now, and we're gonna focus on hitting these traditional subjects in untraditional ways. And I'm gonna show you exactly how I am going to do this. Now, I hope when I flip this camera around, you guys do not see my whole body, because I am from the waist down. I am like so comfortable. All right, let me see. How can I do this? Okay. I hope y'all don't see all of my. Can you see me? Can you see me? Wait a minute. Let me see. Let me see. Can I just pull it up? Because I really don't want y'all to see my bottoms. But anyway, so let me see. Can I just do it like this? Let me just show you really closely. This is how I'm going to do math. Now, this is a lot of stuff. Keep in mind, this is for 2 children, and I'm doing like various different things. Like my daughter is taking consumer math, so I have broken it down with a little bit of pre-algebra, a little bit of geometry, a little bit of life concepts, all that good stuff. And my son is 7th grade math, so I can build all of this around that. So how I'm going to review, because we have this called Cooler in this household, which is basically a learning this difference or disability that centers around math concepts. So in order for me to kind of combat that learning difference, we do have to constantly reinforce topics that have already been done numerous times. So we have to constantly go back over multiplication facts, different little things like that, even down to some long division. We have to revisit that quite often because sometimes with a learning difference, those things get lost when you're going over something new. They tend to lose what they have already had if you don't go back and refresh them. And so that's why, in order for me to review it without them feeling, oh, why we have to do the same little kitty stuff, I try to do it in a different kind of way. So back here, you see math squared. That is an excellent way to do basic math facts. Now, we don't need the top one, which is just basic adding. We don't need that side. However, we flip it on the other side, which is multiplication. And we use that. It's a fun way to do multiplication facts. We also have the Acabus, if I'm saying it correctly, and we have our flip place value. We have our solve and show math kit that also works with place value. It has cards and different things that the child will actually match up to the relative thing. And this also helps my son with reading as well and spelling, and my daughter too. When it comes down to, they have the words and stuff like that. One side have words, one side have pictures and words. So you know they're heavy visual here. So we use those. And we also have buzzers, but I couldn't find them at the moment. And we usually do like a game show kind of thing where I will see who can do it the fastest. We also have timers, buzzers, and timers. And our timers are right in here where it's like 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 2 minutes. So to refresh our fractions, we use just basic fraction flashcards. This is just another little fun little puzzle game called Dog Piles, where you actually have a card, an action card, and then you have these little pieces, and you have to actually fit the pieces into the action card. And it's very challenging, to say the least. Then also we have these flashcards to help us with percentages and flashcards. So instead of giving them a whole sheet of math work, what I do is give them maybe 1 or 2 cards at a time, and before they know it, they have probably did 10 or 15 problems and didn't even realize they done it. This works way better than giving them a whole sheet of math work. They tend to get overwhelmed a lot when they have a learning difference. And even if they don't have a learning difference, children don't like to see, if math is not their thing, they don't like to see a whole lot of math problems. So I would usually take a worksheet and cut it in half, or I would give it to them in little flashcards like this and let them work it. And then after they get done and completed everything, I usually show them how much work they have completed and how great they did on it, and show them how amazing they are without them even realizing they did so much. And then they realize it wasn't so bad after all. So then we have Yahtzee. We have community, because like I said, my daughter is in 9th grade. So this is the time when you start thinking about what you're going to do with your life. So I have various different careers. I also have a book that talks about careers, and it also breaks down how much that job will pay you in a year. And then it also highlights what qualifications you need to do to have that job. This is another DVD that I got for absolutely free from Izits or Zits. I don't know how you really pronounce it. But anyway, it's brand new. So we're going to open this about inventing and future entrepreneurship. This is how we're going to readdress measuring, going over our kilometers, centimeters, by actually measuring and doing things hands-on with this DVD. Now, they might go into really big building stuff, but we're going to do little things like cutting up styrofoam, measuring stuff, just basic little stuff like that, and maybe going through measuring the tile in the house, measuring how far or the distance from the kitchen to the living room, stuff like that, tangible that we can actually do. And then we have how I'm going to do economics. Now that's how I'm going to revisit. This is how I'm going to revisit measurement. This is how I'm going to revisit entrepreneurship and also inventions. This is how I'm going to do real life concepts dealing with math. And this is just basically fun with mental math. And this is revisiting fractions and percentages. And this is place value, hands-on place value. This will be revisiting. This is another flip board that's going to be revisiting some geometry concepts. And this is revisiting the basic math skills like adding and multiplication. Okay, Now this, on the other hand, because my daughter is taking economics as well, and I do let my son take it with her, the world of money. It's going to break down the world of money, our money, and other countries' money. This is an excellent board game. Now, it's pretty pricey, but I did not spend full price for it. I actually was able to get a gift card, and I think I paid $25 for it after everything was said and done. But this is a pretty pricey board game, and it was made by Rich Dad Poor Dad. He is a phenomenal person when it comes down to economics and money. And so this game, really all by itself, I could play this with my kids over and over and over, and it's not that easy. It basically breaks down life and shows you how basically the world works with money, and how it works in reference to having your career, paying bills, investing, having assets, having debt, having liabilities, having assets. I mean, it just breaks all that down based on how much you earn with your career. And it also goes into if you get bankrupt, all kind of real life concepts is in this game. And it changes based on the career. You have various careers that will go along with this that you have. So that's how we're going to actually do economics with these. We're going to do economics, and also going to tie in these flashcards with economics. Now, this is just another way in which just to redo word problems, some dice, and some other stuff in case you want to make up some games. And also for entrepreneurship, I will be using, for economics, I will be using these entrepreneurship business cards. This is entrepreneurship flashcards. It talks about various aspects of entrepreneurship. And I will be using these business cards because it talks about finance. And this goes right along with economics. And it kind of branched off into social studies as well, but that's a whole nother topic. And then this is just a fun way for them to kind of like get their brain games together with math and visual concepts and sensory things and making pictures in their brain. So we're going to actually be doing those too. And then we're going to use this money method. I can't say that word right now. I'm half asleep. It's 12. It's 12 midnight. And so we're going to use this just for fun. And I also have these cool little dry erase boards when we play game show, and they can actually, where they have to be silent and I call out a problem, or when we do a mental math for fun, call it out, and then they write it on here. And then whoever have the right answer, you know what goes next. And these are just some great little ways to do math. It does say fourth grade, but some of these topics are very detailed. So we will be doing that for fun. And these perplexers, it kind of breaks down and goes into a pre-algebra kind of in the way the concepts are. So we'll be using those, and these transparencies. Now, this is not a traditional math book per se. We'll be using this on our light table. I will take this transparency out, put it on the light table, lit up under the light, turn the light off, and let the kids actually write on top of it. And each transparency has its own set of questions, real world applications. So they will actually be doing pre-algebra at the same time. And this is also some more transparencies in which they can do to do hands-on stuff. So that's how we're going to be doing math for the next week or two. It just depends on how long we get through it, and I'm just going to gauge it based on how much they are engaged with the activities. If I see where it's get a little stagnant or a little bit repetitive with that, I will just move on and then maybe pull back our traditional way of doing. Now, this is actually what we will be doing for geography and history together. Now, this is all, I'm showing you all our secular stuff in which we're doing. We do stuff, spiritual stuff as well. And I have certain stuff lined up that we're going to use with our Bible, how we're going to categorize and do stuff from the history and geography standpoint from the Bible, where Jesus walked and all that good stuff like that. But this is our secular aspect that I'm doing in this video right here. So with geography and with history, this is untraditional because I don't have, only book I have is this. I do have several geography books and several history books, but like I said, I'm doing traditional subjects in an untraditional way. So we will be using Story of the World audio, where you just listen to it and we're going to talk about it. They do have the activity book, but I don't know if we're going to do it. I may just ask them the questions in and don't even have them write it. We're going to actually learn some more about Black history. This is an activity book, but it's a hands-on history book. So it's really geared towards a big class. However, I just adjusted to my situation, so it has activities. What it does, it talks about the time period and the people of that time, and then they give you an activity, several activities, and then you do it, and then you break it down. And the kids has already actually been working in this, and they had a great time with it. So we'll be doing that. That'll be hands-on ancient civilizations activity. And as you know, I did receive legacy kits. So we're going to be going into Africa and also Egypt. And we're going to be using flashcards for the 50 states. So what the whole gist of this, how they're going to be doing it, they can pick and choose whatever they want. And then we're going to go from there. And then I have this floor map. We're going to actually put this together first. And then they can either, I was going to use some dice and let them actually roll a dice on it, and that'll be able to, wherever it lands on whatever person, that is the country or the person, the country that they're going to learn about. We have, instead of a book, we're going to use this U.S. history DVD, and we're going to use this U.S. history, this is U.S. history. We're going to use this world history DVD visual, and also use the Underground Railroad for the 50 states board game. And here are some other flashcards that we're going to be using as well. Landmarks, American Indians in Africa. That is what we're doing for geography for the next week or two. It may carry on long, depends on how long this takes. Then next, we are actually going to do, this is actually our physical science. So we're going to actually be doing physical science here, dealing with laser maze, gravity maze, circuit maze, electric playground, and also the electronic snap circuits. So they're going to be doing a lot of different stuff with that. The rest of this is also science too, because we're hitting biology too. This is physics, and they're going to get into some computer programming. I'm going to pull out this Google computer science freebie, and we're going to be talking about eyes and brain, which they already did part. We already started halfway with the brain, and this was actually the project in which my son finished with the brain, where he had to do the statue, and I just broke it. But anyway, he had to put this together, and we talked about it. So we're just going to go more in depth with it. This is the light section, which I was talking about, that I'm going to put the transparencies on. We're going to do this with art as well. This is some dig. When we start talking about the digestive system, they're going to actually dig in some dinosaur woo-oo, you see? And this is some biology DVD and some Tinker crates that I had before, and some awesome 5,000 awesome facts. And we're going to use this visual dictionary. And all of these uncover books that we have. We have the frog, we have the shark, the dog, and the human body. And let me just show you how some of it look on the inside in case you want to know. See how it looks on the inside? So they can take one of these books, and we have already did all of these books actually over the years, but I kept them because, see, they've been loved a lot. But we're gonna do it again because they was younger, and now that they're older, they can get a new perspective on it. And this is our language arts and spelling table. Move this out of the way. So my son absolutely, even though he's dyslexic, he absolutely loved Upwords for some reason. I thought he wouldn't because of his learning difference, but this is one of his favorite games. But we don't do the rules the traditional way. We just go ahead and spell words. So I just tell him to spell whatever words he know how to spell, and we just build on that. That's how we do it. We don't follow the rules of the game, and so he does very good, and you will be surprised how much he spells. And I take flashcards like this that you got from Dollar Tree, and just let him take those and then spell them out on the board. We can use sequential spelling. He can do it all along. Of course, I use kinetic spelling for active learners as well. Any kind of flashcards we have. I also have Play-Doh that him and my daughter, but mostly him, can like make the words out in Play-Doh, make it fun. And also we have, now my daughter would do this, where she actually spell the words out with these diamonds, fake diamonds. And we're going to do some poetry, and we have some Scrabble pieces and foam pieces where they spell their words out and dry erase grammar. And for Spanish, for foreign languages, we will do Spanish. My daughter is currently learning Hangul and Chinese, and I think that is it. It's a third one, but I can't remember. She's doing that on her own. She's getting quite good with it too. But my son and I, and my daughter, I'm going to use some of this with her as well. So we're going to do Spanish with the traditional workbook. We're going to play Spanish bingo, and we're going to also do our hands-on with our Spanish. And I also have a DVD as well. So that is what we're going to be doing for science. No, this is foreign language, which is all my language arts. I also would do their traditional language arts as well, biblical and traditional. And we also have sign language to kind of switch it up, because that is a language as well. And so we'll be learning some cool little sign language. And I also have a DVD to go, not with this, but it's just a standalone DVD course that they can actually do. So this is all language arts, spelling. This is science, physical science. This is physical science. This is biology and science. And back there I do have some stuff on space, so that's earth science. Over here is geography and history. And over here is our math. So this is how we are actually going to do traditional subjects in an untraditional way. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and can see how it's so super duper easy for you to transition traditional subjects in untraditional ways. If you notice where your child is getting kind of stagnant with their work, and it's kind of like a boring kind of humdrum kind of thing, you can see how easy it is to take untraditional things and how it blends into a traditional subject with a little forethought, and you still will actually be carrying or doing the exact same subject, but you're just doing it, you're kind of flipping on it, you're doing it in a new way, which will make it exciting and it'll be a new experience, and you'll notice how much it will boost your child's self-esteem, and it also will just boost the learning process altogether, because it's different for number one, and for number two, it's something that doesn't feel like school. It's school, but it doesn't feel like school. And so therefore the stress and the anxiety that comes along with the traditional way of schooling is eliminated. So therefore the child just normally just progresses with this way faster. So I usually have to do this at different points within the school year, and I usually call these my learning stations, where when I see where we hit that wall, so to speak, and it needs something different, I will pull out these learning stations. And usually I have every single subject spread out, which this was pretty much, but I mean, I have PE, I have art, I have separate tables and stations. I even have a puzzle station. Oh, and the other thing that we do also in the morning, we wake up and we come in and we play some music, we do some stretch exercises, we tell a funny story. I tell them about something that happened with them in their childhood, or something that they did when they was younger, they may not remember, or we revisit an old family trip, look at some photos, we dance around, we sing around a little bit, and then eat something, get some snacks together, and then we get into our regular routine of doing our work. That is our morning routine. We usually also read something spiritual, like a scripture and a thought, to really set the day up for something very positive. So that was what we usually do in the morning. We call it our morning worship, and we do that early in the morning. Then we kind of like try to loosen up and play a song or something like that, sing or whatever the kids want to talk about, whatever on their mind. We do that first, and then we start getting into these learning stations little by little. And I don't time the learning stations. I let them pick whichever area they want to go in first, and then we move on. If they stay in one section a little too long, then I'm like, okay, you need to move on to the next section. Or I will actually go in another section and start doing something and say, hey, you want to join me doing this? Because a lot of times I actually even go into certain sections with them and actually do it with them, certain things. So that is how I change a traditional subject into an untraditional way. Another thing that I did not do in this video, which I done in another video, was how important you can easily transition music into math and also art. So I don't know if you know that, if you're trying to figure out different ways in which you can introduce math and do math with your children without them actually feeling like they're doing math. Well, if you're working on fractions and stuff like that, music is broken up into fractions, broken up into beats, broken up into numbers, which they're doing all of this in their head and don't even realize it. And then when they sing a melody, that is beats, that is a note, that is counting lyrically. So if you notice where they're having stress with math, but they love music or they love dance, then that is a great way you can bring that into them and show them the fundamentals of math, and show them how fun and how cool it is to do math with music, and how they're already really good at math based on them being able to dance and hold a beat, based on them actually being able to sing or keep a tune. That all plays a very big part in math, because if we didn't have math, we wouldn't be able to keep the beat. We wouldn't be able to make a lyrical song sound good based on the beat, based on how many beats are per measure. It's broken down in fractions, so you can help them to see that as well. And maybe I do another video just talking solely about music music and stuff like that, because I don't think I have a video where I talk totally in depth about music, because I don't even think y'all even knew that I played an instrument before. I don't even know if I ever told y'all that, but anyway. And I used to be on band and all that when I was in school and stuff. So I don't even think I ever told y'all that, but anyway, you know now. So it's very, very easy to transition music into math. So if you're looking for a way in order to transition, if you're watching this video on the replay, just watch it from the beginning. I hope you find some value and some use out of it, because sometimes we get so bogged down into the thick of things, trying to do it always the way somebody else is doing it. We lose ourselves within the process, and then our children just going through the motion, so to speak. So I noticed that mine was kind of doing that, and I was like, no. That's defeating the purpose of homeschooling. If you're not happy about learning, that's defeating the purpose. So that's why I knew I need to switch it up a little bit and flip those traditional subjects into untraditional ways. And with me just setting it up, my daughter was like excited. My son is excited, because when they see me doing all this, they're like, oh, I know what that means. Yes, mama, yes, we need this. And so it pretty much runs itself. And it's so stress-free. So I encourage you to pull out some of those board games, pull out some of those puzzles, pull out some of those things, and think outside the box in reference to traditional subjects. Flip it. Do it a traditional way. We homeschool for a reason, to have freedom. So you guys, I will talk to you later. And I hope this video was beneficial. And now I am getting ready to go to bed, because it's late. And so this will be my video for today. So thank you guys for watching. And if you have any comments, please comment below the video, and I'll be glad to get back with you after I get me some rest, okay? So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.